When your vision calls for tall ceilings, wide doors, and room to grow, you go big. This 30 by 50 by 16 tubular metal building with the long 50-foot lean-to is definition of style and strength. Let's check it out. Welcome back, Pack. This is Adbeel from WolfSteel Buildings, and we're out here in Kerrville area, which I love the scenery. I love the drive out here. I know we had that this morning. Ed, welcome also.
Yes.
Ed in the background. Again, thank you for being a part of this. Ed, you ready for this one?
Man, I'm excited, man. You know, you're just driving up here again. You know how I love the hill country area, and man, the drive here was beautiful. Very scenic for sure.
I know this project, our client was referred by another client because we've been building for some reason in this community
They love
very
us.
well.
They love WolfSteel Buildings.
Marketing help us out, showcase the projects that we did in this community for our other clients. So big shout out to Kirk. I know he was on our channel, and he definitely connected us with this client that we had the pleasure to help out and build their dream build. Before we get into that, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also follow us on all our social media, which is our Facebook, our Instagram, our TikTok, all of that. Okay, don't forget to stay tuned with all the behind the scenes stuff. Any final comments before we get to the tour?
No, I'm ready. Let's go get it, man.
Man, the colors, the colors is so unique. It's a different type of vibe, and I'm trying to think of what kind of vibe it feels like, but I love it. At some point, I'll remember throughout the tour, so let's get this one going. Alrighty, guys, so before we actually start doing the tour, I want to remind you guys we also do pricing, okay? Because we're doing a nice combination of like where I talk about the project, what we did, details about it, technicalities.
Yes.
But at the same time, marketing is just going to help us out by putting on this side, or maybe this side, but I believe it's going to be on this side, the pricing, okay? Because I know if you're looking for a project, you're like, hey, well, how do I, what does the price look like for a project like this?
That's correct.
And we're going to start with the concrete, then the building, and then like accessories being shown, and then at the end, definitely the total price. But then again, it's just to give you guys a range, an idea.
Yes.
The beautiful thing about metal buildings in general is that you can do a 30 by 40 building for like, maybe with concrete and everything, for like $25,000. So simple, so basic, to doing a 30 by 50 that reaches all the way to 100K, 200K. Like you can literally go that much. It all depends on the accessories, the selections that you do is so customizable.
Yes.
So there's a building for everyone. Just kind of know that. And it just depends what you're selecting. There's a lot of things. And here we're going to talk about what we selected and what makes this building so special. Okay? All right, man. So before we get into the building, again, we're going to start with the concrete work. For the main structure, which is the main fully enclosed, which is actually the foundation work. It's not flat work with internal cross beams, 1,500 square feet. And then on the lean-to, we're having about 800 square feet of a lean-to foundation. The finishings are different. On the lean-to, we do a brush finish, which is beautiful, because wait till we get there, because it's really, really, really good. Usually you're going to have rain that comes in on that side. You're going to have more like just nature debris out there. So you don't want to be slipping. So that's why we do a broom finish. But in the interior, that's where we do a trowel smooth finish, okay? He did a 4x4, like a squares, where he's gonna be installing his lift to work on his vehicles. He's got a vehicle that he loves, which is the Hemi Challenger.
Yes.
And so I know we had about 21 loads of dirt that we had to bring.
That's correct.
And it's because, again, we're in hill country, so the elevations are really, really drastic. So there's gonna be a lot of prep work. So the site prep here, it took a lot of work. And you can see it from the drone footages. I think we got, what, like 4 foot off level on this side, on the back?
About close to 4 feet, of a drop that we have.
Of a drop, right?
Yeah, which is, almost, again, like I mentioned in the other video, as tall as me, right?
Oh, that's funny, man. I wasn't expecting that. And so therefore we had to do deeper footings, again, because if we don't do the deeper footings, it'll settle. Okay, once we pour the concrete, the weight, because as much as we want to compact the ground, it's not going to compact as well as we had bigger machinery, which the cost would just go more. So what we do instead is we go deeper footings to try to touch as much as possible into the natural grade. Okay, gotcha. So like Jared said, concrete's boring. Let's get into the metal building. No, I'm just kidding. Concrete's not boring. Actually, the execution of it and the finish is really, really awesome. Yeah. Like, it's an awesome process. When we see it, I know many people are like, oh, well, it's just concrete, right? Yeah. Although you can do a lot of finishes to it. Yeah. But the process of concrete is what I'm amazed all the time. I love being out there on the actual pour days. Shout out to Erasmo, who is our guy here in Hill Country. Phenomenal work. Yes. And you're gonna see the concrete work. It's just phenomenal. He does an amazing job.
Yes. And then one thing I did want to point out is for this site prep as well, for this site, we brought in road base. What is that, Adbeel?
Yeah, so road base is what you're seeing here, and I know the B-roll is going to help, but road base is what we actually use in Hill Country, which is a little bit more like crushed stone. And so, but what I love about road base is like it compacts very well, and it doesn't erode as easy. So that is the beauty of road base, and that's what we use here. And you compact it well. Up north, like in the Fort Worth area, all the way down to like Longview, Texarkana, we use a lot more select fill, which is also it's more of a clayish mix, and it compacts also very well. But here we use more road base, and you can see it. It gets really, really solid, and it matches with,
I guess, the whole aesthetic with it as well.
Honestly, yeah, right? I love the white of it. Like I was just thinking about it. It's just like I love the white color of it. Of the road base. Let's get with the building, man. So this is a 30 wide, 50 foot long, 16 foot to the eave. So it is definitely a, you know, like as soon as we drove by, it's like, bam, this is my shop. Literally, that's what this is saying is. And then we got a lean-to that is 16 wide, 50 foot long. It starts at 11 foot connection, which is like a step down connection. And then from there, it goes to a 9 foot drop, which is a 2 foot drop. Okay. As far as like the main structure though, what really stands out is the colors. I don't know, this color combination, number one, I don't think we've had it on our channel.
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
It's not a common color combination. And then it shouts like really nature. I think it's perfect for the area that we are in. It just feels very like hiking vibes, like outdoors vibes. You were saying earlier, it's like nature talking to us right now. Yeah, it's beautiful. Obviously, definitely with the combination of the cedar encasements that we have on the lean-to, which we'll talk a lot more about it when we're walking through there. But the color combinations we have here is pebble beige for the sheet panels. The roof has Galvalume. So Galvalume is actually a really popular color in Texas in general, because Galvalume, since it's really hot, we get a lot of sun hit. Galvalume has a great reflection to keep your building as cool as possible. Especially this building is not insulated right now. Maybe the client will be insulating later, but in the meantime, it's not insulated. It's definitely a shop. Okay. And then the clay. The clay is the color that you're seeing on the trims all the way around. The clay is the color that you're seeing also on the wainscoting at the bottom, which is wainscoting means two tones, so it's getting a color at about 3 foot. And then from 3 foot, that's where it starts a different color. And that's what you're seeing as a wainscot.
I see.
I will say it's probably one of my favorite color combinations.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I'm more of an all black type of guy. You know, I like black or gray, and you know, that's just me, my personality.
You can even see I usually wear a lot of the tan colors.
I see.
But that's just me, and I love black as well. But anyways, there's more of a preference. But overall, it still comes with the 29 gauge for the sheet panels. We do offer the 26 gauge as an upgrade. But right now here, where we are, 29 gauge is definitely a good, especially for what it is. And this is a shop. Again, color matching screws. Color matching screws to match all the colors that it is. The colors for the screws for the sheet panel, the colors that match the screws for the trims, they all are matching. And then definitely the frame has its galvanized screws. Awesome. You know, so a little bit more extra work, but then again, we fabricate our own buildings out of Weatherford, Texas, so we have that control, and that's how we want things, because it looks a lot better.
Awesome. And I did have a question, Adbeel. Yeah. I guess before we move into the doors, I see that they have vertical as the walls. You know, compared to horizontal, from what we've seen in other buildings, what's the importance of going with, or the differences, I guess, if going with vertical compared to the horizontal?
Okay, so for the roof style, we only use vertical.
Yes.
When the industry started, they offered horizontal roofs, which is the panels running from side to side. The negative part of those type of roofs is that they are leak prone, and they hold a lot of debris. Because if the roof is going like this, marketing help us out, you'll see the ribs are like this, it's kind of holding water, and then if you have screws there, then just water staying there still with screws, it's just not a good combination, right? For roofs, we only do vertical, although vertical is highly recommended in like upper states where you got snow, so snow slides off, right? Here we don't get a lot of snow. In Texas, which is the only state we service parts of Texas, not all of Texas. And then on the walls, we do offer the horizontal walls, okay? And the horizontal walls is a more cost-effective price. But the only thing, there's two differences. One is with the ribs, you'll see that some debris like dirt will sit on them throughout time. So there's a little bit more maintenance of like having to clean it off or power wash it. Vertical is just sliding off and down. And then vertical also, in order to install the panels, because the panels are like 3-foot panels, we have to do some girts or like tubes going across.
Yes.
And that adds more rigidity and more strength to your building. So overall, it just grabs more strength to your project.
Gotcha.
However, do keep in mind, yeah, we can add more strength. Sometimes, you know, you want to overload your building with like more strength, but it's still engineered to meet the loads that is needed. So we're not going to build something that doesn't meet the wind loads.
I see.
So whether you do horizontal or vertical, you're still going to meet the wind loads for your area. It's just that when you reinforce it, it's like having V4. You can still drive from point A to point B, having a 4-cylinder, right?
Yep.
You can go V8, and you're just gonna feel it.
Yeah.
You're just gonna feel that power, right?
Makes sense.
Which is what we're gonna talk about in the inside. Well, we're not really fully car guys, right? But our client is a car guy. I am kind of a car guy, but not fully. I think I'm developing into it.
There you go, yeah.
Our client, they do have a lot of doors. Okay, so they got here a 12x14 roll-up door. They got two 10x10 roll-up doors, one in the front, one in the back. And then we got an 8x8 roll-up door on the side. So they have a lot of multiple access points. One of the beauties that I love about what they did is that when you have door from one end to the other end and you just open them, which we'll show you when we're in the inside, just having them out open, you get a lot of breeze. So if your building's not insulated, if you have your doors open, it's still really cool to be inside of it because you got a lot of breeze. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So if you're not going to insulate your building, one thing you can do is definitely have a door on one side and understand how your wind blows usually through your property.
I see. Okay.
And have that doors where it will create that breeze. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
I've been in a building where like it's just so hot in there. You open up one door and it still doesn't like really create anything, but then you open up and then there's just breeze flowing.
Yeah.
And it feels really, really, really good. Couple of noticeable differences. So for 12x14s, since they're chain hoisted, you don't have latches on the outside.
I see.
Okay. So you basically lock it on the inside. But for anything like a 10x10 and smaller, you will have latches on the outside.
I see.
So in order to kind of lock it or anything, you would have to have a padlock. Here's where you can see the differences. Here, I can just open up the door. Over here, I can't. Does that make sense?
Makes sense, yeah.
Another question that people have asked is, can I get my 10x10s as like chain hoisted where I don't have to have the padlocks on the outside? Yes, you can. It's a custom order. It's a lot more. In the industry in general, this is how it works for roll-up doors.
I see.
Okay. I know you were gonna ask.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was gonna point it out before you got to it. The brush seal kit. You know, we've been seeing it a lot, and then a lot of clients obviously they're asking so why is that important? Why is the brush seal important? And
yeah, so I think there's a couple things I want to talk about the brush seals.
Yes.
Okay, so in general, brush seals are not part of the kit of the roll-up door.
Okay.
That's just how it is.
I see.
Do I disagree with how it is? Yes. I know we get some comments like, well, that should be standard, or that should be a way of doing things. Unfortunately, like almost any industry, there are certain ways of things where like They should be, but they're not.
I see.
This one's one. Roll-up doors, if they don't have the brush seals, because you have a lot of corrugation, you'll get a lot of lighting, you'll get a lot of air penetration. So if you insulate your building, you're not going to be able to access the inside. That's a big problem.
I see.
And critters come in, and so if you're doing a shop in there, you're trying to control temperatures, it's just not going to happen. And then they're made out of steel. So luckily the sun is not hitting on it, but in the afternoon it's going to be hitting on it. These are going to get really hot.
Yep.
So that hot is going to transfer in the inside. Okay? So that's the disadvantage of a roll-up door. Okay? The advantages of a roll-up door is that the price are cost effective. They're pretty good, but also like they actually last long.
Really?
Like they function very well. They're manual, quick, and very compact where they don't take up overhead space. Okay.
You just roll up.
Hey, you just roll up, and they just roll up into like toilet paper. That's how I see it, right? However, again, they don't come with brush seals. So
I see.
brush seals solve that problem. They solve the problem of like having critters coming in, having lighting coming in. You still see some lighting, but it's not as much. Having as much air on them. And another con about roll-up doors is this.
The rattling.
The rattling,
Nice.
okay?
Yeah.
And that's because when wind is blowing, they will tend to rattle. The brush seals really help because it would be rattling a lot more if I didn't have it, because the brush seals are putting pressure on it. They're at an angle at about 45-degree angle cut in, maybe less. It's putting pressure onto the door.
I see.
We once had a client call us and say, hey, like, I'm inside my house, and every time the wind blows, you can hear that. How can I minimize it? And we were like, well, what if we get some brush seals? At that time, they weren't standard that we offered.
Oh, really? Wow.
Right now, they're standard.
Yes.
We came back, we put the brush seals on for him. He's like, man, that solved the problem. And again, we focus on putting pressure on them. It makes the door a little bit harder to like roll up.
Yes.
So you can feel a little bit of that pressure. Okay. Sorry. But it's good because you want that. You want that a little bit. So it actually, even for the rolling up, it makes it a little bit more just harder to roll up.
I see.
The tension helps where it helps you roll it up. Another thing with roll-up doors is that the gap up top. Okay. So since it's like a roll, when you close the door, the roll gets smaller up top.
Yeah.
So that gap, it creates a gap. And this is a problem if you go into the Facebook groups on Facebook where it's like owners of metal buildings, there's like a lot of people, maybe like 500,000 people that talk about their metal buildings, their experiences and whatnot. Every week I see hey, there's a gap, there's a gap. So brush seals solve it. But let me talk about when we're getting compared. So this is something that I want to talk a little bit more of our values or how we do things. Yeah. When we quote a building, we will quote it with all the things that we feel that you will need based on your goals. So when you say, I am trying to get a roll-up door, we're not just going to sell you the roll-up door and then say, hey, do you want to get brush seals? Or maybe our salesman might forget to even offer them because there's so many things to offer. There's a lot of things to offer. Yeah. Okay. So one thing can go missing. So what we do instead is like, no, we'll include what we feel you're not gonna regret.
Yes.
So we'd rather you say, hey, take that off, than come in and show up and, hey, I wish I would have had this, or I wish you would have done this, or I wish this was offered to me, or that kind of stuff. So what we do when we quote is we already include those items. So as much as someone wants to be apples to apples with us, it's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen because there definitely are a lot of things that we do completely different than others. Fortunately, like for example, brush seals, this door, it's 10 by 10, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be from like $1,200, around $1,200, $1,300, maybe $1,000, or maybe $900. I'm already lost on that. The brush seal here is going to be like $500, $600. So it's even twice the price, or half the price of the roll-up door. Yeah. So now all of a sudden, if it's together compared to someone that's just offering the roll-up door, it's like, hey, your doors are really expensive. But this, it's worth it.
Yes.
It's definitely worth it. It's worth the experience of having a roll-up door. Another thing we want to talk about, because I know it's right here, is definitely going to be the two-tone wainscot. When you do two-tone wainscot for a horizontal wall panels, there's no additional cost, okay? Because we're just overlapping the panel here and just overlapping with another color.
I see.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But for vertical, there is an extra cost for wainscoting.
see.
Okay, and that's because we got one color. We got to have it a certain length, and then we got to tuck in a flashing that we call a Z trim.
I see.
That flashing redirects the water over it, so that way we can have a panel coming from the back, because that way there's no leaking coming in from those. There are builders that don't put the Z trim and just overlap the panel and the panel. I feel like it can be done, but I feel like it could create rusting in the future or something.
Yeah.
But it still can be done. And
Okay.
so the builders that do that, definitely wainscot is going to be way, way less expensive. But for us, we do a Z trim. And so in here we have something special though.
Yes.
So what we have here is a wainscot brick ledge, or like a brick. We call it just like a brick package.
Yes.
So basically, we do the wainscoting, but the trim is bigger, and you can see it's bigger. It's going to be leveled out whenever the brick is set. The brick is going to be set. The client's going to get their own brick. They're going to do something matching their home. It's just going to look spectacular. This is something that I highly recommend, because then the water is going to go in forward. If you're going to have a brick and you don't have some sort of flashing water that goes behind it, as long as you have good enough weep holes, it'll be fine. It'll last long. Having this, it's just more insurance, where if there's any water behind, moisture behind it, you're not gonna have any rusting behind the brick. I think our client's still gonna be working on getting their brick later on. It's still in the works.
Yeah, still work in progress.
Yeah, that's the reason why we also have 5 inches of additional brick ledge for our notch detail.
I see.
Beautiful trim. Again, we custom order all our trims to try to have as minimum seams as possible. Okay, I believe the max trim we can do is like 20. Here we got a 16-foot. You can see the vertical trim. It's one single piece. There's not a seam. So that's what's beautiful about what we do, is like everything is custom, which definitely adds a little bit more price. But it's that way you don't see a seam. Like to me, seeing seams is it will happen, but the less it is, the more it looks more put together. Just my opinion. Overall, I know we're here to talk about the lean-to.
Yes, yes. One of my favorite parts of this building, if not maybe my favorite part. Yes, for sure.
It is. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful, and it's pretty wide as too, wide and long. Talk to us about this lean-to, Adbeel.
Well, number one, like the lean-to right here, like just the way we're walking towards, and even when we were like driving, the stores, obviously our clients been moving, and so they've been in the moving process. They're still in the moving process, but as soon as we kind of went walking this way, like you can just see the scenic. So if you're hanging out here, you're watching, football, or
watching the Cowboys win a Super Bowl, maybe.
Well, I don't know if our clients are Cowboys fans, but definitely they're gonna be. They did mention they were gonna hang a TV and like kind of have like a grill out or like hangouts area here. It's got the perfect scenic view. So that's the beauty of this lean-to as well. But definitely like the cedar encasements, just really making it stand out, and it's wide. And I'm gonna talk a little bit more about that.
Yes.
But you had some questions specifically about it?
So yeah, one of the questions is obviously the lean-to being 16 foot long. How does that play? How big of a factor is that when it comes to going wider on the lean-to?
Yes, so when you do lean-tos on tubular buildings that are 12 foot wide and smaller, we only use one single bar. Engineering allows that, and so therefore the cost is very more cost effective. Okay. Once you go bigger than 12, like say 13 and greater, we have to design our trusses differently.
I see.
So here we did double, and they're welded. It basically creates a 2.5 by 5 inch truss.
I see.
So combined, so therefore there's no sagging, more reinforced and stronger, but it adds a little bit more extra cost. Definitely if you go bigger than 16, we're gonna be seeing ladder. That's the same exact thing for like legs on our tubular builds, which makes us different than most. And I'm gonna explain when we're in the inside. But then again, that's the difference of having this 16 foot. One of the things I love, I know I love the building, but the concrete work here, but shout out to Erasmo, did a phenomenal job here. The brush finish is really, really, really nice. And I know we didn't do, we have some control joints, but honestly, there's no need for it on this one, because one of the beauties of hill country is that the ground is very solid. It doesn't move as much compared to an Abilene, North Dallas, and all the Longview
area.
There's a lot of clay inside the ground, which is what we call black gumbo, and there's a lot of movement. So you tend to see a lot more cracks on foundations, which is still normal, but as long as it doesn't become a structural crack. But here is, every time I'm in this area in concrete work, it's really, really solid. But he also did a really nice finish work.
Yes, and then the cedar encasements as well is one of the details that I've seen in a lot of buildings lately is the cedar encasement. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, let's walk through over here so
Yes,
I
so you
can
can
really
show
talk
us.
about it. So again, this is really big.
Giving it a hug at this point.
Yeah, so it really makes it stand out. I think our client has some cedar touches to their home as well.
Yes.
So we got the cedar encasements. Our normal tubular builds will always have a base rail, and then it will have columns every 5 foot. And so that's what revolutionized the tubular industry to compete with a different industry, which was like the pole barns and the red iron builds that have been in there. Tubulars came in and revolutionized it with engineering, but also where labor costs were cut down.
I see.
Because of the fact that you can build it manually and quick.
I see.
Not necessarily that they're less, it's more that they're faster build more because of it's kind of like mass producing. Like the assembly line changed the production of vehicles. It's the same concept.
I see.
Basically, that's why we have the base rail. But overall, that can be a tripping hazard.
Yeah.
It can be annoying sometimes. Just saying. I'm going to be very honest, right? So I would think it's, if I were to own it, I would think so. And that's why
we opted for the header, right?
we offer the header option.
Yes.
The header is hidden behind this special trim that we ordered specifically to cover this. So it's hidden behind, but you can see it from the inside. So it's a header, it's a sandwich header. And so what we have here is like, we were supposed to have a column here, and then we cut it, we created a header, and then the column, distribute the weight across, creating openings.
Yes.
And so this is spectacular. Like this I love because you don't have openings. So if you're having the lean-to, I would recommend to have the openings. Because right inside here, we do have columns. So we have columns in the inside here, but we already wrapped it with cedar to make it, stand out. But inside the columns are there, the galvanized frames. And I know it's things that I've talked in previous videos, but then again, we got a lot of new viewers, and I love to always explain everything like if it was a brand new video. So that's actually one of the beauties of Tubular Builds, is that engineering allows for many different customizations that gives us flexibility to do like headers, openings, but with certain protocols of like you have to create certain things to keep the reinforcement and not weaken the structure.
And then now we see that the gutters as well, I feel like they the color of the gutters as well. I mean, I feel like they match really good with the actual with the trims and
Yeah, so it's good that you're mentioning that. So basically, they won't match exactly the panels of our tubular builds. Okay, so that is a concern or like a question that comes up a lot. It's like, hey, will it match? It won't match. The gutters and downspouts are made from a different material, from a different manufacturer. They're made, these are very common for homes, residential, and we apply them into tubular builds because tubular builds are very common in residential projects.
I see.
But the colors are gonna be very close, but they're not gonna be exact. Just keep that in mind, okay?
Perfect.
Here, for the clay, we match as much as possible, and I think it still looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
They're really, really, really close. We're working on, with our suppliers to try to get certain paint codes, but it's a little bit of a challenge because since it's not, the price can be, that's where like, we're still trying to negotiate a little bit better.
I see. And then obviously we have that drop here, that what we mentioned earlier. If I was to stand over there, you probably could not see me, but that's just that's part of the drop.
And then definitely where we have our connection of the lean-to, we have to flash it very well. The top has a flashing to redirect water away. And then from there, we also have a trim that we call a vertical trim, that where we did little cutouts, you can see, to make the connection and make it look really good. Sometimes out there, I've seen that some builders don't do, and we do, but I think it's becoming more of a standard. Awesome. Which looks great. You ready for the inside?
Yes, let's go.
Let's go.
We get it. Starting a new metal building project can feel overwhelming with concrete here, installation there, permits somewhere else. At WolfSteel, we can take that headache away. From site prep to the last screw, we bring every service under one roof here in Texas for Texans, so you can have your metal building without the stress. We handle tubular buildings, red iron weld up and bolt up buildings, permitting assistance, full concrete slabs with site prep, plus any demolition if needed. Concrete coating options, various installation options, a gutter system for your building, custom doors, windows, and even cedar accents if you want a more rustic look. You need more, like mezzanines, balconies, or masonry, we got that too. We do not service outside of our service area, nor provide material or kits only, and our services do not stand alone. We focus on full turnkey Texas metal building projects. WolfSteel is the easy choice. Texans, we've got you covered. If you fall within the service area, contact us today. If not, I hope our channel is helpful for your metal building project.
Again, this is our steel door. This is our upgraded door. This one does have where they're not sitting on top of a base rail, which is the mobile home door. We don't really sell the mobile home door often. We sell more of this steel door, but we still have the mobile home door in case what you want is more just something quick, compact. But this, again, is a shop that they're really using. A steel door is definitely an upgrade. So, beautiful insulated door.
Wow.
Wow. The frame is just spectacular.
It looks huge in here.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, this is what you get for 30 wide, 50 foot long, 16 foot tall. Our client did go higher because he's going to be doing a loft in the future. So he already planned that, okay? Another thing he did was he got this 12 by 14 door because they might maybe in the future get an RV. So it's like, hey, it's a quick entrance and they're preparing for that. So that's one of the beauties with when you're buying a metal building is like, you don't want to take it down and rebuild later on. Or if you can build what you're trying to maybe envision it for the future, or maybe even sell for the future, with great planning and maybe, you know, making it happen in the first place, you prepare for that. And so what I'm saying by that is like, he might get an RV, he might not.
Okay.
So he's prepared.
Awesome.
He might do a loft, he might not. He's prepared.
Preparation.
Yeah. Because I've had clients say, hey, my building's 10 foot tall. I would like to add a loft, so I would like if you could make it taller.
I see.
It's going to cost about the same to just get a brand new one instead of just, you know, plus the panels, when you take them off and you're trying to re-drill through it, not recommended. We could still do it, like take off the panels and drill, but usually it's recommended just to put new panels.
I see.
You know, it's going to be very hard sometimes to align the holes and that could create leaking.
Awesome.
Before I get into the ladder legs, I want to talk about the concrete because, like, first of all, like, I love the concrete work here. It's extremely good. As soon as I walked in, I was like, wait, it feels like it's a little drop here.
Wait, I'm feeling it now.
You're feeling it now?
Yeah.
I told you earlier. Did you feel that? Well, it's because we got a drainage here to get the water out.
Wow.
So, again, a client is a car guy, so I'm assuming he might wash or work on his car or something like that. You want a drain to get water out. That's what we did at the Ponder project that we were just talking about, that we were out there. We did that drain. Also, if you're working in cars, something I would recommend for future is maybe do like a standard grind and seal where we grind and then we seal it. That sealing will protect from like oil spills, like if you have oil spills or like, because concrete's like a natural like sponge still.
Yeah.
So as much as we trowel it, you know, it still will absorb, you know, oil spills, liquid spills. So doing a nice grinding seal, which is pretty cost effective, which marketing helped us out. How much would be a grinding seal for this project? But basically, you know, especially if you're a car guy that works on vehicles, that's a basic one. Obviously, we do offer polyura epoxy coatings, which is also a higher level. And definitely also polished concrete, which is a higher level. But grinding seal is a great way, and I think it looks amazing. And another thing I wanted to talk about is definitely our notch detail work. So again, we do our own concrete. So in this case, we control this whole matter. Here we had to do, when we're talking about ladder legs, we also have to do for our walls, we're doing double end walls. Because of the height, we want to reinforce these walls where they don't rattle with wind. So we got double end walls. So the notch detail is different than if it was single. And even for like our WolfSpan buildings, sometimes we have legs that are ladder as well, or like the end walls, which are not load-bearing walls. Basically, they're walls that can be removed. That wall we can't remove because that's what's holding the whole roof together.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Our end walls are the ones that are also reinforced, and because of that, we had to do a nice notch detail. Again, our doors flow clear, no water is coming in, and then all our panels are sitting at the bottom edge, which you can see over here how it's sitting at the bottom side of the concrete. Awesome. This is all planned out specifically. So again, our client from out of state came. Oh, like it, love it. Okay, great, perfect. Awesome. I know right now what we have is this little issue with this roll-up door. But we're gonna come and double check it and make sure that it works. Again, client has a warranty on the product. I think we built this back in March.
Yes, that is correct. Yeah. And,
we finished like in May, March.
June, May.
June, May.
Yeah, so late May basically.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
Late May.
And we're in October, but either way, our motto is more like we're here for obviously there's a limit to warranties, which check out our website for our warranties, but that doesn't define what it is. We are here, and that's the beauty of well, at least how we like to do. Now, anything from up to 12, you're gonna do a single leg, and what that means is just one single bar. Okay, one single bar. Once we get into 13 and 14 foot legs, we're gonna do double. So we're gonna do 2 of these combined. But for our 16 foot legs, we're gonna do ladder like this.
Yes.
Okay. And again, this is just more for like lateral pressure, but we anchor it twice on each leg. Wow. So it's super like
sturdy.
Hey, beautiful car, bro.
Yes. Look at this. Woo. Wow.
And that's why he did a squares where he's gonna put a lift here in the future and be able to work on his cars. He seemed really like excited about his car and like everything. Even the nice Toyota brings me nostalgia. Yeah. Where I was raised in farm. Yeah. So my dad, I learned how to drive a vehicle through a similar truck like that Toyota Shift. So
wow.
A lot of nostalgia.
Brings you back memories for sure.
Yeah, brings me back memories. Again, look at the view, man. Talking about the story, we had a client, or not a client, but someone from YouTube. Hey, I got a building. I think it was like 14 foot tall. My end walls are single bar. Engineer says that it's still okay. And engineering will say it's okay to have a single bar, I think up to a certain height. But that doesn't mean that they don't rattle, okay? Yeah. Well, right now it's like it's got support here, but basically the wind will still make it like rattle, even though the wind won't do anything to it. I see. So engineering says it's okay, but there's still deflections. We just reinforce it. We don't want that. We want a little bit more of where you don't have that feeling. Yeah. So that's why when we do anything over 13 foot tall, we'll do double or we'll do ladder for the end walls as well. More for that way you don't feel any of that. Any of that, building move or just the noise, the feeling of it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then definitely the bracing of the corner bracing, we have the brace, but then we also have what we call hat channel, which is what we use as a purlin. We cut them and then we also reinforce that so that therefore there's extra reinforcement on its lateral pressure. Shout out to our team, man. Shout out to our team in Weatherford. Shout out to Chava. Thank you so much, man, for all you do. If you're watching this video, thank you so much for leading a great team at the Fab Shop in Weatherford, Texas. Yes. Shout out to the Dream Team.
David and Jane, yes.
Thank you guys. I think we're really blessed with a great team. We have a great culture. Thank you guys again. And aside from that, Ed, do you have any other final questions?
I think we talked so much. We gave so much information in this video. I hope it served a great purpose. Man, I'm ready for the next one, actually. I'm ready.
You ready? Yeah. All right, guys. Well, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe because we're on to the next one. In Kerrville, there's some bomb tacos, not Kerrville, in Fredericksburg. Bomb tacos at the corner of that main street. I forgot the name, but bomb tacos, guys. Check them out. We always stop there. Every time we come in this area, it's like, hey, we're gonna get those tacos. And I think it's about time. Lunchtime, yeah. It's about time. I'm open to having it a little earlier than expected. Alrighty, guys. See you guys in the next one.
What's up, Pack? Remember to stay up to date with everything that we're up to by checking out our social media. You can find us at WolfSteel Buildings for behind the scenes action. We share our latest projects, update on what the team is working on, and all the exciting progress happening in real time. Don't miss out on the action, and remember to give us a follow.